Welcome back to BRB Gaming. We've got the big switch over to RH, and we're talking about what we haven't been playing lately because of it. You're here with me, Thor.
And Stubborn Pixel.
Oh, man. This has been a busy freaking week, hasn't it, bud? Holy crap.
It's been intense. More stuff with the server changes, just getting all the new devices and their categories set up.
Yeah.
It's a wild new world, but we're getting more members, and it seems like people are enjoying themselves in the new channels. Retroid is as big as ever. Who would have known? You know, we're almost a year into the RP2 being released here in July. Who would have known that this handheld is still this popular? There's better handhelds out now. There are way better handhelds.
Yeah, but the RP2, everyone's just like, they need them fantastic colors, you know? They need the fantastic colors.
Right. I mean, it looks fantastic. And to me still, it's like the most easy handheld to pick up and to just lightly grasp while I'm doing other like dad stuff. Like literally anything I could be with my RP2.
Yeah.
RG350M, it's a little heavy. 350V, hard to kind of one-hand it.
Yeah.
RP2 though, man, it just still speaks to me.
It's light, it's portable, it's got the same battery life. And you know what? I'm just going to throw this one in there too, okay? I am just sick to death of everybody talking about how easy the Linux-based operating systems are to configure, okay?
Yeah, let's talk about this.
Stop it. You stop it. You manual scraping jerks, all right? I don't want to hear it anymore, man. Holy crap. It's such a pain in the butt.
Well, I mean, okay, take a look at 351 Elec. That is a pretty easy OS to use. I mean, sure, you throw your ROMs in there, you got to SSH in, but then once you're in, you go through the scraper. It's pretty easy. It's pretty fast. And you got retro achievements built in. You got cloud saving. Doesn't really work yet, but it's there as an option.
What's the status on Amber Cloud? What's that? How's that going?
I'm still trying it. It's for some reason. I tried on multiple RG devices in case one of them's borked, but I can't get Amber Cloud to work. I want it to work because 351 Elec is so close to perfect for what I'd want out of an operating system, but cloud saving not working and not having the versatility of Android.
Yeah.
Not having the full customization. You're pretty locked down to what they give you.
Yeah.
Now, mind you, it's very good. It's not perfect, but it's very good. And so, I mean, there's some things I want to fix. And we've been talking about that.
Yeah.
But Android, I don't know. It just seems like Android's still what I like at the end of the day.
It's got its hooks in you.
It's got its hooks in me. It's what I've been using since like 2012 now for handheld gaming.
It's hard to get upset from my perspective as an Android developer. It's hard to get upset with Android versus the 351 Elec, the Linux-based distributions, the EmuElec, because of the App Store, because of how well supported the emulators are in comparison.
Yes, it's true. And you can have whatever you want. Like, you can have whatever. There's so many different apps out there, and you just have full control. And I realize that is Android's best feature. It beats Apple in my mind for that reason. Sure, it's not as easy to use, but like I like something about that. I like.
Yeah.
And I have to wonder. You know, you and I have been talking about creating this OS to make it more like the 351 Elec, more like Linux.
Find the middle ground.
And I have to, talking out loud here, do people even want that? Is there an audience who wants that?
I think there is.
I mean, I would love to have it.
Response, but I don't know, maybe we should talk more in the community about it.
And see, is this something that you want? It seems like people are like, give me Android and give me Pegasus. Let me do all of the hard work and get it up to how I want it. And I'm good. Sure, I have to manually scrape on my computer. But that's fine with me because I'm a tinkerer and that's my MO. And for the people out there, you know.
It seems like the flip side of that, though, are the Ambernick style Linux distro people who are like, I just want to flash one damn thing and then forget about it.
And that's really nice too, because I've enjoyed that.
It is nice.
But you want to know what's funny though? I've spent less time with those devices lately because they're ready to go. They're ready for me to play. My tinkering's done. They're basically perfect. What else is there to do? So I haven't used them as much. I've been back with my RP2 because the thing is just a void of my time and takes forever to do anything. And so I'm with it more. But that, and it's kind of like the Nightingale. What is it? The Nightingale syndrome, where where you like, I feel prisoner to the device until it's like completely set up. And while I've had it for so long, I've fallen in love with it again.
Yeah.
Because of the amount of time I've sat with it. And so when I think in my heart about each of my retro handhelds, I just gravitate towards picking up the RP2.
That's fair. I will say though, the biggest draw for me right now is that this thing, the build quality on this 351M.
Oh yes.
Holy crap. Like you could do a murder with this thing. All right. Like, and keep playing ActRaiser afterwards.
And you're fine.
Yeah. Like you're good to go. Holy crap. You know how much I love the RP2. Okay.
Right.
But damn. That
you are
metal shell.
You are an engineer and a hardware man at heart. And
my whole thing is prototyping, and this thing is just,
I can't argue with you there. I mean, yeah, it's the perfect hardware. It just feels so good.
Yeah.
Sometimes I wish to have the plastic variant, but since that doesn't have Wi-Fi built in, I skipped over it, the P model. But you're right. Yeah, it feels so good, and it's just such high quality build. Oh my god! And you can click the sticks, which is huge.
Yeah,
and so
full dual analog, all that stuff.
It's amazing. Why do my hands cramp up so badly with that form factor, that 3:2 screen ratio?
I don't know.
Something about it. The RP2 is just a little bit longer.
Is it the triggers? Is it the triggers? Is it extending that finger out?
I think so. I think so. I haven't figured it out. It's just the fact that it's a little squished down, a little shorter. And so I just wear out on it faster. I can play. Yeah. I love my 20 minutes with my 350M a couple times a week. I love it so much, but that's about as much as I can do before my thumbs kind of like cramp up a bit. And then I switch to my RP2. So
what does that say?
I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm 36 now. Like, what do you want me to say?
You're gonna get a bunch of DMs about this. You know that, right? Like,
yeah, it's tell me about it.
Hey, PPAP retro game. Did you get over it?
Pop. 351V though, that's a nice form factor. As much as I wish it had a second analog stick, that one actually I could probably hold for a day.
You know, we keep bitching about the second analog stick in DMs for that device specifically.
Right.
We need to get over ourselves on that one because what the hell do we play that requires a second analog stick?
Yeah, fucking Ape Escape and
Ape Escape. Like what?
Apocalypse. Apocalypse uses the second analog stick. It's a Bruce Willis game where it's a twin stick shooter basically where you run and gun. It's based off the Tony Hawk engine. It's Neversoft's first game, and they actually they used that game's engine for Tony Hawk on PS1 later on. Kind of interesting story. But that uses the right stick to point your gun when you're firing and running and gunning through the levels. And Bruce Willis going, is saying a bunch of Duke Nukem type catchphrases.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that one's gonna hurt. It was a total flop.
That does not sound foundational. It doesn't sound like, the Chili Peppers of the PlayStation era. All right. Like
they wanted it to be. Like they aimed for that. It's really it's one of my favorite games, actually. Like it's one of my test games when I start up a new handheld because like it looks good, it plays well, it's cheesy as hell. I've beaten it a few times, and it's just a simple game and it's fun, and the physics engine's really good. And because it's Tony Hawk, so I just like being Bruce Willis and shooting stuff.
I respect it. I've still never heard of this game, but
nobody else has either. Like nobody gives a shit. I bring it up all the time now, just in circles. We're like, oh, what obscure game do you like? I'm like, Apocalypse. Like, that's not one of our approved obscure games in this social circle.
We're talking about Mother 3, okay? Like, we're
talking about cultured games. Culture. You heard of us? Culture Club, the band,
the CC,
the video game. Do you really want to hurt me? Do you really want to run lineage?
Yes, I do.
All the time
on every device, and we're working on it. We've got 351 Droid. We've been working on that pretty solidly. I'm testing like probably 6 to 10 things for it every single day. Shout out Turtle, even though he doesn't listen to podcasts.
Shout out Turtle. Shout out No Time 2D8.
No Time to Date.
No Time. Is that? Oh, I never put that together. I was like, No Time 2D8. That's a number. Must play Dungeons and Dragons. No Time to Date.
Those of you out there with 351 breed devices, the RK3326, No Time to Date is the guy that first was porting all of this over, the Android stuff, to the 3326 crowd for the Odroid Go Super in advance, I think.
Yeah, OGA, OGS. Which I imagine those probably work on the, what is it, the RGB 10 Max?
Yeah. I don't know if it works on the Max yet. I got my Max on the way.
Me
Wicked
too.
Excited. Wicked excited. I'm very disappointed because I thought it was 5 gigahertz. It is not.
Wait, didn't somebody tell us it was 5 gigahertz?
A certain YouTuber.
We won't mention names. He's had a hard week.
He has had a hard week. A very hard week. But they fixed his crap. So
they did.
No, I saw another review on it, and it said 2.4 gigahertz. So
all right. The dream was almost real. We could have been playing Stadia.
Well, what I'm going to try is if it's similar to the 351, I'm going to try swapping out the internal chip because it should be pretty cheap to do.
Okay.
So
I like that. And there's enough space in there for you to really get going on some ideas. And now, Russ was saying, Retro Game Corps, he was saying about the RGB 10 Max, I believe this was him, that not a lot of games really make use of the full 5-inch display for the power the 3326 chipset puts out. He seems like it was a little bit just overkill having a 5-inch screen, because what's going to take use, and if you're stretching the full 5 inches for like NES games, that just looks terrible. Well, I'm already used to that for my GPD XD. Yeah, I mean that's life to me. Like, and sure, the game looks
playing ROMs on any 16:9 type device,
right? And handhelds and tablets throughout the years, like that was my default starting point, was stretching out, just horribly distorting pixels. Yeah, like it's been weird to me moving to this new era of handhelds that have correct aspect ratios, and then switching back to these widescreen. It's true, it looks a little funky, but I'm good with it. I'm fine with it.
I never realized before what a difference a 4:3 screen made for playing these games to be at the natural aspect ratio.
It looks good.
I had no idea.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember playing Super Nintendo games on a CRT when I was a kid, but yeah, being able to play things on an appropriately aspect ratioed screen. I'm very excited for the 351V. Ambernick sending me one as a test unit.
Yeah, and buddy.
Sending Turtle one as well. We're trying to port Android to that as well.
Turtle's finally going to get a handheld from the new series.
We'll go into that after the podcast.
Yeah.
We tried.
I'm glad. Well, no,
we tried.
I know we did, but this is, at least he has one. At least he'll have a 351, so he can develop for it, and actually he'll be able to go faster on things because he can try it, test it, get Wi-Fi going, get the mouse mode going, which I heard is a thing now. Good job on that.
Yeah. Well, again, that's no time right there. We just have to implement it appropriately.
Right.
The Wi-Fi it's being a real bear.
We got to get that working though.
Yeah, it has.
Otherwise, we're dead in the water.
Before we get any public release, Wi-Fi's got to work.
Yeah. Before we get too deep into like, oh, we need to make a launcher, we need to get the perfect interface, we got to get the basics going.
Right. So we've got to make sure that when we're building a ROM, when you're building a ROM for a Chinese retro gaming handheld, you have to make sure there are certain things that are in place, and all the hardware frickin' working is like the first thing.
Right. That's kind of number one.
You could worry about system stability and all that kind of stuff, but for now,
no. And when you say ROM, you mean OS. You don't mean
right. I'm sorry,
ROM, because you might get a guest come into the studio right now if we're not too careful. We can't don't say ROM too loudly.
Oh no, that's right. He's around, isn't he? Oh my gosh.
Oh, he's popped in a number of times, and it is frightening. He pops out of his portal. Dear listener, we're talking about, of course, the ROM gnome, who has been infiltrating the retro community for a number of months now. People have seen sightings, kind of like Sasquatch. He'll pop out of his vortex. He'll serve you the finest ROMs if you do the ritual. Legal ROMs, but if you do the full ritual, which we won't go into here because we don't want anyone to fall into the multiverse.
I don't have
he will bring wig. You got to have your grandmother's finest wig and maybe her lipstick, and you got to knock on the portal 3 times. But I won't say what the quotation is there. The Dark Wizard who invented him, of course, nobody has ever seen, and nobody ever will. So the ROM gnome, if you're out there and you're listening, please leave us alone.
He's really ramped up lately.
He really has ramped up his activity. He's been popping in all the time, just sharing ROMs. Like, dude, bro, you can't do that. For one, it's against rules. And he's like, oh, well, it's legal ROMs. Yeah. But still, semantics. Come on. What are you doing? Who are you?
You're pushing the boundaries, bro.
Yeah. The ROM gnome, we're watching. We got our eyes on you, and we got a team ready to pounce. So you better watch yourself, okay?
Like a panther.
Like a panther.
Like a Viking Jewish panther.
But no, God, I'm excited for Lineage, man. 351 droid to come into full swing. Tangent life. And we will get that going. 351 will be a thing.
Yep.
And we'll talk about that in Retro Handhelds. The new server's been going really good.
People seem to really like the restructure, man. We're talking about everything. We've got all these devices in there, and everything that we have up right now, people are really excited about. We've got a couple of hype channels in there for like the 199, a little bit more regulated than other servers. Just throwing that out there.
Right. And speaking of other servers, like, how would you say this distinguishes us from similar servers that are out there? It's like, why do we exist?
Well, I mean, we've taken essentially what other people have done and refined it. I will say that.
Right.
But we don't have a trillion channels. We're keeping things active. We're making sure that we're maintaining active chats for the devices that are on the market right now, and not just stuff that's always been around. You know, that's a big part of it. We also have a super active moderation team, admins,
mods, the whole crew, man. So what's new in your life? Let's do personal life stuff.
Personal life stuff? Is that what it's time for? Oh,
just for a minute, just for a few.
We're finally getting out and about. The mask mandate. Cool. The mask mandate is pretty much going away soon. Federally, they've said, if you have the vaccine and blah 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 blah, then you don't need the mask anymore. And so I took the girls out for a terrific lady day today. We still wore masks intermittently, okay, but we went to the mall, all right, and did actual mall shopping, which was a big deal.
Wow. I haven't been in a mall in, I don't know.
Right? So we did that. We stopped by the Cheesecake Factory, had a great lunch, went to the pet store, just normal human stuff that we used to do like a year and a half ago, I got a haircut. I went to see my stylist.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say your head's looking fly. The lines.
Dude. The lines. My stylist,
the
Yada.
Fade.
All right. Shout out Yada Sports Clips. What's up?
Yatta, yatta.
Subiki Dando. Yada was in there with the
Easy Rider Salad de Mo.
Yada was in there with the shaver going to town, right? And I'm looking, like, I don't have my glasses on, but I'm looking at her and like, this is really intense. I haven't got Yada hasn't done my hair in like 8 months. All right.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at the mirror in the sports clips and I go, I don't have my glasses on, but I can tell you're doing a really great job. Like it's just look good. And she looks at me, she pulled her mask down and she looks at me and she goes, I cut that motherfucker in there. And I'm like, yeah, you did. Shit, yeah, you did. So she did a great job.
Amazing. I would love to experience a haircut. It's been about a year for me too.
Is it?
I just do it myself. Like I set my thing to 2 on the sides, buzz it off. Hair, fucking when it gets too long, I buzz everything off and start over. Yeah. But I would love to get that experience, that feeling of somebody cutting your hair. Are you kidding me?
And bullshitting. That's the other part. Yeah.
It's kind of like getting a therapy appointment while you're at it too. Like a
little bit, yeah.
You get a little off your chest.
So that was my big thing this week, honestly, was that the RH reshuffle, of course, but we went out and had like a human day. And then we went to the pet store.
That's amazing.
Just to look at
why not?
Pets. Yeah. So
that's fantastic. In Oregon, we are in a 4th wave, so everything's fucked. But they're actually starting to do the mask mandate started yesterday for us too. And we're a little bit rougher off in these parts. I will say that. So I'm a little nervous for it.
You guys are definitely more population dense there as well.
We're more population dense. It's true. And so a lot of people are using it as an excuse to go in who aren't vaccinated, take their masks off, because who's going to check? Who's going to know?
Yeah.
And maybe making the problem a little bit worse, since we both kind of work in this field, we can see the direct, like, day-to-day consequences of these sorts of things.
Yeah.
And, oh no. But having said that, we're almost fully vaxxed. So by the end of the month, we'll both be good, and we will be excited to return to life. And we're probably only a month or 2 behind the rest of the states.
Yeah.
As far as how things are going here. So I do look forward to
there's a glimmer of hope, my friend. There's a glimmer of hope.
I know.
It's right there. I tasted it today.
It sounds amazing. But as a mostly introvert and like shut in, I kind of will miss this, and I kind of like am not ready for it either. But hold on though, because the other part of me is an extreme like outgoing extrovert, like 25% of me that likes to go out and play like concerts and music and do shows. But I can do that for like an hour, and then I like have to go be a shut in for the next 2 weeks. So
just take your 351V with you. Just sit there in the corner.
Oh,
then play guitar, and then go back.
Be in the green room, like just playing ROMs, playing Super Mario. And I'm like, it's right. Brain, I know that there's some fucking guy in you who wants to like do music and stuff and like tell about his feelings, but like just hold on to this. Then I go out there and I'm like, what's up, everybody? Here we go. Here's Wonderwall. Wait,
you're not playing Yellow anymore?
Oh no, that's last season. It's last year. Come on.
That's fair.
That's Brad's game anyways. He's got the hook on Yellow in this town. But my favorite part about playing music in front of people is the feeling of going home and realizing that it's over. And like, oh, thank God. I don't know why I did that again, but
now I'm going home away from these people.
And now I'm 7 years old again for the next forever.
Oh man. So what haven't you been playing this week, man? What's going on?
Oh, all right. What haven't I been playing? Well, I haven't been playing Dino Crisis 2. I meant to finish that bad boy up for the Game of the Month champion role.
Mm-hmm.
But Rapid's going to have to yank that role right out of my hands in a couple days here because I just didn't have time.
It's not bad,
Life got in the way. So many things. One of our daughters had a big boo-boo, and our other daughter dropped a boulder on her foot, and ER visits, and Seems like every week lately we're in the ER for one reason or another. And so it's been rough, and I've just been burnt out on too many projects lately. So I've been laying low and just kind of, what have we been doing? Yellowstone's over. We got a kick on serial killers. So we watched Sons of Sam on Netflix. That was really interesting, by the way. That was super interesting. True crime stuff.
Oh, millennials rapidly approaching middle age.
No, don't say that. Don't do it. I know. True crime is all of a sudden like fascinating to me, and I'm like, tell me more. But hold on. I started off my career in criminal justice, and I was super into this stuff a long time ago too, when I was youngerish, like 21.
Yeah.
But that's because I had to choose a career path, and I don't know. I fell into computers eventually.
You justify it however you want.
Right? I will keep justifying. All right. Yes, I'm old. Yes, everything hurts. Yes, I'm creaking and my bones ache. But I will sit here at 3:00 in the morning and watch the 5th Ted Bundy documentary I've seen in my lifetime, and eat popcorn and like leftovers and shit, and feel nothing inside. But then like my wife's like, "Do you want to watch it?" And I'm like, "No, it's too spooky. No, I don't." Yeah, I know. No. That was us too, man. We got a huge kick. And popcorn. Why is it when you watch true crime and you see people being slaughtered, you just want to eat popcorn?
Doesn't make you hungry. There's something primal about that.
It does. I was talking to a customer at work this week, and I was telling her about, I was like, oh yeah, I do a podcast. We're talking about gaming and stuff, and we were talking about true crime because she was watching some true crime herself, and I was like, what if I like talk about true crime, mix true crime in with gaming podcast more? She's like, I don't think you can mix those two things together. I'm like, watch me.
Watch
this weekend.
We're doing it right now.
Do it. We're literally inventing a genre, gaming true crime podcast. People who are playing video games and happen to get murdered while they're playing games. And
we would have one episode of that. All right.
Yeah.
One episode. So anyway, I was doing that and unfucking the server instead of playing Mass Effect Legendary Edition this week.
Right. So that's what you haven't been playing is Mass Effect. Right. My buddy just got that yesterday.
I forgot how quickly I get sucked into that style of game, the BioWare RPG.
Oh yeah. Dude, Mass Effect and the dialogue and the choices you make are epic. It's so cool. And the characters.
I think I'm about 6 hours into Mass Effect 1, and I'm just leaving the Citadel because I do the quest cleanup.
Right.
Like, you give me a quest, I'm going to do that fucking side quest like right now.
Immediately. And do you still, in this Legendary Edition, do they still have like the fetch quests, like the mining, where you have to take your vehicle into different planets and do the mining?
I think they do. I imagine that they do. Like I said, I'm just now leaving the Citadel.
Okay. It's been a while.
6 hours in because I run around and talk to everybody. It's been 14 years since I played the original Mass Effect. So, I'm going to go talk to everybody.
Right. Yeah, I gotta remember. I beat the first and the second one, and they were very good. I still haven't beat the third, so maybe it's time.
Well, you should get on that. Shepherd.
Are you female shepherd or male shepherd?
Male shepherd.
Yeah, I do that.
My missus is going to be the female shepherd.
Femme shep.
Yeah, and because I'm a gaming sociopath, I have to go like full good guy the whole time, except for those moments where like somebody really, really mouths off, and then I get to shoot them. That's,
Yeah. And I get that. It reminds me of Fallout New Vegas.
Yeah. When I'm giving somebody a lot of chances to do the right thing, and there's somebody like, fuck you, dude. I'm like, no, fuck you. All right.
Yeah. Fuck
Lead poisoning. Go.
I gotta take that series up again. It's just it's hours. It's like 50 hours per game at least.
Yeah.
So it's
like I said, I'm at like 6.5 hours, and I'm just now leaving the Citadel. All right. So
no Reapers yet.
There was a Reaper, but nobody realizes it was a Reaper. They still think it's the Geth attack ship.
Oh, okay,
spoiler alert! Post-mortem spoiler alert.
Everyone's played the game now. It's fine.
Freaking hope so. It's been 14 years.
Well, what's the call to play Legendary Edition besides the graphics overhaul?
The graphics overhaul, they for like the original Mass Effect, they swapped in more of the Mass Effect 2 style combat system.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And then that's really nice.
Combat. Yeah. It's good.
And just a shitload of bug fixes. They redid the Mako, so it's not slippery and weird, and you don't get instantly murdered on that one tower over and over and over and over and over again. Just a lot of Liara. Just a lot of cleanup in general, plus the graphical fidelity upgrade, which is very nice.
Was there a Liara fidelity upgrade? My love.
Yes.
My love, my one true love.
Bro, I get you. I love Liara, but I'm thinking I'm going to go after Tally this time.
Don't you do it, my buddy.
I'm an engineer now. I wasn't an engineer back then. I got it.
Okay. Let's talk about Tally for a second. Not the Tally that everyone here thinks we're going to talk about.
Different Tally. Two different beings.
Tally, she's got to stink. She's in that suit, inside of that suit for years. When does she ever take it off to take a shower?
She takes it off in her room.
No, she doesn't.
Yes, she does.
She sleeps in it. She has to live in there because
she takes it off. She creates a sterile environment in her room.
I guess it is the future. Dude, I remember playing Mass Effect 2 on my Sony Vaio laptop.
Yeah.
Like, it had a Core i7 Sandy Bridge processor in 2011, and I was like, I'm at the pinnacle of gaming right now.
Right.
I used to switch between that and Counter-Strike Counter-Strike Go.
Yeah. There was a reason why Mass Effect 2 was so beloved. And even the story is amazing, don't get me wrong. But the swap over from the gameplay to that over the shoulder, it was way more visceral. It was way more in your face. And then instead of just having the giant open environments, you actually got funneled, and it felt like you were in a kill room sometimes, like it was legitimately intense.
Yes. Yeah, it was amazing. It was a thrill ride the entire way through.
It's a stage 5 Thrillicane.
Stage 5 Thrillicane. I played through Mass Effect 1 and jumped straight into 2 and played it straight through from start to finish. Like, I did nothing else except for, and when I got bored, or when I got too Mass Affected, I switched to Counter-Strike for a while.
That's the episode title. You know that, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, good call.
Mass Affected.
Mass Affected. AFF. Get those tags in there. And then, like, 3 wasn't out yet. So, like, a couple years went by. I think it came out in 2014, 2015. And so when that came out, the oomph had died for me. So I picked it up, but I wasn't caught up in it like I was in 2 when it ended. And so I never finished it. 3 was probably good. I heard the ending many didn't like.
I played the crap out of the multiplayer with 3.
There was a multiplayer. I didn't even know that. Huh.
Yeah. There was actually a system in game because it's the final showdown with the Reapers and stuff, right?
Yeah.
There was a galactic preparedness system that you could boost by playing multiplayer. So the more the galaxy was prepared, the more people would survive and get the better ending and all that shit, right?
Yeah.
I played the multiplayer so much that when I started a new game, I already had the galactic preparedness maxed out.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's right. And you could import your shit.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and all your saves. I carried over my Mass Effect 1 and 2 saves into 3. So
I'm just gonna have to start from scratch in 1. I don't have my saves anymore.
Yeah, you are.
Would your saves from the original games work in the Legendary Edition? I wonder. Have you looked that up?
I don't know.
That's interesting.
I would think not. Most likely.
Yeah, and you want to start it from scratch at this point, anyways. And Andromeda, I know,
so fresh and so clean.
People like Andromeda too, and that one didn't call to me. Couldn't get into it.
Andromeda got the shit end of the media stick.
Yeah,
because they turned so many people off just because the facial animations weren't. You remember that whole drama? When Andromeda came out, it was the facial animations, blah, 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 and it was all they could fucking talk about. It was infuriating. Yeah. It's like you realize that there's like 90% other parts of the game here, right? Besides what you're talking about, you know?
Right.
And yeah, Andromeda just got the shit end of the stick. And they should have at least finished that part of the story, in my opinion. But they didn't. Well, and it's okay. I'm gonna let it go because we got Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And so I get my Mass Effect fix.
I'm gonna pick that up sooner or later. Andromeda just to me wasn't fun. Did they include Andromeda in the package though?
No.
Is that part of it? It's just 1, 2, and 3.
It's 1, 2, and 3, and all the DLC except for one of the original
Shadow Broker, all that stuff. Okay.
Except for one of the original, I think Mass Effect 1 DLCs because the source code got corrupted for it. So
weird. Okay.
Yeah, it was weird. There's a whole thing about that. And
all right.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well, I suppose with that, should we wrap it up? Call it a day?
Let's wrap it up.
Probably cut this down to closer to 30 minutes, honestly, in the end.
Yeah. Let's wrap it up. You want to take us out?
Yeah. Well, boys and girls, everybody out there, dear listeners, thank you again for joining us on BRB Gaming. We cannot wait to talk to you next time. Please feel free to hop in the Discord. The link will be in the description. And give us a shout out. Come talk to us. Let us know what you like about the podcast, what you don't like, what you want to hear more of. We are here to talk about retro emulation and all things related, and we are very happy to do so. So until next time, this has been BRB Gaming. I'm Stubborn Pixel.
And I'm Thor.
See you later.
Bye, guys.
Love you.